ego. I got a big ego. Right? Okay, so let's get into this. Hey everybody, welcome to Feminine Fridays with Regal Essence. Home of Life is a Laid Back Mom. I'm your ray of sunshine in the afternoon time. And I am QueenTV After Dark. So, I want y'all to understand this here, right? So, the reason why a divine feminine would not mate, date, or marry, or mate with a man with a big ego is because if you still have a big ego, that means that you have not come into your spiritual awakening, right? And a divine feminine has done so much work on herself. She has done her healing work. She has done alchemy. She has conquer her childhood traumas and all of those things, right? And a man with a big ego simply has not, okay? So one of the prerequisites for your spiritual awakening is to actually go through what is called an ego death, right? So if you haven't gone through an ego death, then you probably still got a big ego. You probably still living life by the matrix. You still living in a matrix. You're still living a very 3D existence, right? And divine feminines are 5D. We live in a 5D, right? Meaning we manifest, right? We don't chase. We just simply be, right? We go with the flow. We're sweet and we're sensitive, and we've probably been through a lot of spiritual attacks, right? And a man with a big ego is probably still a little on the insensitive side. He doesn't have the ability to understand the things that you have gone through as a divine feminine, right? So he can't meet you where you are. He can't meet you on your spiritual level. He can't meet you on an emotional level. And divine feminines know that they call in the very best things for themselves, right? So with that being the case, what I look like being with somebody, mating with somebody, or marrying somebody that can't understand my story. He can't heal with me. He can't help me throughout my day and my life struggles because he don't understand it. He's still living in a matrix. He's still living in a 3D matrix, y'all. And ain't nobody got time for that, okay? So the reason why a divine feminine would never marry or date a man with a big ego is because a man with a big ego is not living his life according to the things of God, right? He's still living his life according to what people think and how people think things should be done versus living a very spirit-led life. A man who's living a very spirit-led life is not concerned with his image. He's not concerned about what other people think about his decisions and the decisions that he makes, right? Neither is the divine feminine. One of the most peaceful things in life is understanding that I don't have to do anything for anybody. I don't owe anybody anything, but I don't owe anybody anything. The only person I owe is God, right? Because that's my maker. He's my protector. He's my provider, right? So with that being the case, men that are very still in their 3D existence, very much in their big ego, they still got too much to prove. And the divine feminine knows that she doesn't have anything to prove to anyone, right? So with that being the case, they would be unevenly yoked. And the divine feminine never, ever wants to be connected or hooked up with someone that is not evenly yoked with her. She's not looking to be connected to anybody who hasn't fully stepped into their divinity, because the divine feminine has stepped into her divinity. She's living a very 5D life. She knows that whatever she needs, she can find it in God. She's not looking for a mate to complete her because she is complete within herself. She is coming to union with herself. That's called self-union, right? Self-union says, I am enough. Self-union says, I am everything. Self-union says, I am the answer to the question. So I'm not questioning. I'm not wondering. I'm not in doubt. I live my life following and listening to my intuition, right? And my intuition would tell me that anybody who's still living their life by their ego is really not somebody that's an energetic match for me, right? A divine feminine is looking for somebody that's going to be her energetic match, right? And a man with a big ego simply is not that, because a divine feminine does not live her life by her ego. She doesn't have to. She finds her worth. She finds her empowerment. She finds her stability. She finds her enoughness within God, right? So anybody that's going to come alongside her and be her counterpart will also have found his worth, his stability, his image, his self-image. Let's talk about it. He would have already found his self-image within God, right? That's what makes him an energetic match for a divine feminine. And a divine feminine does not vibrate on a low vibration. So in order to be able to get with a divine feminine, you have to be vibrating high, my friend. You have to be vibrating high. And a man with a big ego, he ain't even on that level yet. He not vibrating on that high vibration. He's still at a low vibration, trying to figure out life and who he is and how to do things on a very 3D level. That's a lower vibration than a 5D being, right? A man with a big ego hasn't realized that he is a spirit being having a human experience, right? Divine feminines are earth angels. We embody celestial and goddess energy, right? So what I look like being with somebody that doesn't realize that they're a god, right? And gods are not egotistical because they realize that they hold so much power. So much power that they don't have to run around yielding their sword around trying to prove anything. They don't have anything to prove because they already know who it is that they are. So that is why a divine feminine would never ever date or mate a man with a big ego, because that shit ain't cute no more, right? Back in the day, that shit might have been cute, right? Dating a bad boy back in the day might have been cute, but that's not appealing to a divine feminine. Now, she may want a bad boy who's a spiritual bad boy. That's a whole nother difference, right? Because he used to be a bad boy, now he's spiritual, right? Then he's probably vibrating on the same frequency as a divine feminine. And then, they can procreate and mate and date and all of that stuff. But if you're still living your life very 3D based, very ego, you're still living your life by your ego, you're very defensive, right? You still got stuff to prove and you still got things to hide because you haven't come into that meek and you haven't allowed God to break you open and remake you again, right? So you're not in touch with your feelings. You're not in touch with your intuition. You don't know how to make sound decisions for your future because you're not living your life according to what it is that God has for you, right? Surely, a divine feminine does not want to mate or date with someone who hasn't realized that their life is led by God. With somebody who doesn't realize that, you know what? I gotta get in my intuition and understand what it is that I need to be doing right now, what it is I need to be doing today, what it is that I need to be doing in my future and going forward, right? That's what turns a divine feminine on. That's what makes a man sexy to a divine feminine, right? Not somebody with a big ego that thinks their money and their cars make the world go round. Not somebody with a big ego that thinks that if they act tough, that makes them sexy. No. Divine feminine find divine men to be sexy, right? Because the divine feminine is connected to her daddy, right? And her daddy is the Most High God. So a divine feminine wants somebody that's after God's own heart. A divine feminine wants somebody who is mirroring and walking like the God that he truly is, right? Somebody that's operating in their ego, they allow material things and the things around them and how many bitches they fucking and they sex game and all of that stuff. That defines who it is that they are. But a divine feminine wants a man that is defined by his divinity. Okay. So that is why a divine feminine would never mate, date, or marry A man with a big ego. I got a big ego. Right? So I love you guys. Look for me this weekend, okay? Life is a Laid Back Mom, my travel vlog. I'll be posting very, very soon. So I want y'all to look out for that. I want you to hit the subscribe button if you are watching this video. Share this video. Share the video. Share the video. Subscribe. Comment. Hit the bell button so you know when I upload a video, okay? I love you guys. Happy Friday. I hope you are having an amazing day. Check me out on Instagram, Regal Essence QueenTV. Check out my Regal Essence affirmations. My divine feminine affirmations is litty. They litty in the city. So I want y'all to check those out. I want y'all to read over them. I want you guys to say the affirmations because we know that words have life, right? And the words that we speak actually change our atmosphere around us, and they change us biologically, right? So you may wake up and you may not feel that great, but once you say your affirmations and you start to speak those things, you start to shift the atmosphere, and that's very, very powerful, you guys. Okay, I love you boys. I will be back on Monday for Masculine Mondays. So make sure you check me out on Monday, okay? Rate, comment, subscribe. I love you guys. Peace.